Hello there, Commonwealth from here. We have the release date of Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment. It runs like a dream on the Nintendo Switch 2 and it's coming out in the beginning of November. I was actually right at the end of the thing. It's not coming out even this winter. It's coming out in fall. I'm really happy and surprised when it comes to this. So let's go over this new trailer because it hides quite a lot of new story and gameplay elements. I'm calling it the gameplay debut trailer and also release date trailer, of course. Let's get into the details and frame by frame, because it's kind of important. We get to see the start of the imprisoning war after Ganondorf becomes the Demon King. Zelda doing attacks in the depths, a lot of footage in the beginning. We can see the sages, probably not so long after leaving the Forgotten Temple, or the Temple of the Secret Stones. You can see the lineup again, like we saw in the first trailer. That is the footage again from the first trailer, but this time it's gameplay and final gameplay at that. We see a little bit of combination. I think we see a new enemy here, actually. I'm not entirely sure what that was, to be honest. Then we have some new kind of enemies as well. I think like this looks very similar to the magma, because obviously this is Death Mountain or Elden region. But what we can see here is the Eye of Gloom, just like with the Gloom spawns. You can see the rocks of the mini boss we had on the path to the Fire Temple, or Gorondia, back in Tears of the Kingdom. There's actually quite a lot of footage to go over here. We can see the Rito Sage, most likely called Meadow, or could be a different name as well. Here he is masked, so we're still not seeing the face here. And we can also see here with Zelda combining attacks with Minoru using her construct, and this is obviously on the Sky Islands. It seems like Sky Islands will be playing quite a significant role when it comes to Age of Imprisonment, which is actually quite interesting when we think about it. Yeah, we can see this is obviously Zelda taking part in this. And then we have Hyrule Castle from yet another perspective. Zelda waking up. This was the same cutscene as we saw in the memory. The first one, in fact, from Tears of the Kingdom. Introduction of the two monarchs, so King Rauru and Queen Sonia. The mural that we also saw, it's a lot of opening. This is from the scene we saw in Extended. But here we have first gameplay. We can see combos, a lot of the typical Musa Warriors gameplay, and playable characters. And we can see on the left-right side that it is multiple characters alongside those that already have been confirmed. We can see Rauru, we can see Zelda, we can see Minoru, and then we see a fourth character who could be a Hylian, actually. So that is actually quite interesting here. And this is obviously not a story mission, as we can see, because there is a timer. There is a countdown, which means that Sky Islands might not be tied directly to the main quest. They are stages, but they are more of challenges. So yeah, we can see the typical button mashing here and battles against constructs, which is obviously challenges because they are on the side of Rauru in the game. So they're just typical like bonus challenges. And then we see Koroks from the distant past at that. We haven't seen those before, and we see them in Farin of all places, throwing all kinds of attacks on enemies that fly away. Then we see Minoru in the depths fighting little Froxes and pulling off attacks with her Zonai weaponry, freezing them. We can see the Zora Sage battling a group of Bokoblins and Hinoxes in, I think it might be Lanayru actually. It's either Lanayru or Upper Hyrule, so above what later becomes the next Hyrule Castle. So there we have that. A little bit of combination here. We don't see any of the icons here though, so from the gameplay. Yeah, that was a Hinox. A dirty one at that. We can see Zelda with the water dispenser. I don't remember with the Zonai devices, sorry guys. But we can use Zonai devices, obviously. They are important. With the fan, seeing Minoru using that, that seemed to be another challenge stage. And then we see Zelda with the fan against Gyptos in Gerudo Desert, and detailing them in enemy camps. Then we have the new gameplay feature that we find in Age of Imprisonment, namely Sync Strikes, and the combination of those, also with sages and captains, to take out a larger group of enemies at once. Here we see the first attack of Raru with his sister Minoru, which is so heartwarming to see, and some dual screen gameplay, which is very important because this was running in like 15 frames per second in Age of Calamity on the Nintendo Switch. This is seems to be a story stage, and also we have game share between Nintendo Switch 2 and Nintendo Switch, which is, we see also another scene of an Neo Talus, so a little bit more of gameplay. And what's more, yeah, I don't think there's any additional players here. We can see I think that's the Goron Sage, Zelda, Raru, and Minoru in that combat. And then you have a different battle, though the same mission, of course, where you play as Zelda in that case on the Nintendo Switch. But you must initiate game share session because I don't think this game is on the Nintendo Switch. So there's that. Summoning of the monsters, as we remember from those two cutscenes as well in Tears of the Kingdom, the memories there, and that new construct battling Gleeok with Zelda looking at it. Could it be the hero? Could it be Link? Could it be something? We don't know. The thing is that there are many possibilities here, and no matter what, it is very exciting. By all means, it is very exciting. We can see Minoru in the depths. She's not able to use her hand for some reason. That is actually quite interesting. The scene of the fist of Raru, and a lot of other extras here as well. So we can see that new construct is very versatile and also being used in the sky, which is very interesting. And it is a transforming construct at that. One that could be very special. Could it be the ancient heroes aspects, or is it a different hero that predates all of this? I guess we'll have to wait and see and find out when we play the game come November. And yeah, Koei Tecmo has definitely delivered. November 6th is a beautiful release date. It is the first week, in fact, of November. Yeah, of course, the month starts on a Saturday, but it is the first Thursday, and that is truly amazing. So yeah, that is Age of Imprisonment, a game that is coming out on November 6th and looks absolutely gorgeous. Pre-orders have already started. We should also have box art, I think, on the website, and the official box art has still not been updated. But if it is already up by the time we're editing it, here it is. No matter what, it's already up for pre-orders, and it is significant. Let's just say that straight out. So yeah, guys, what do you think about the third trailer and first gameplay, as we after all have this game at Tokyo Game Show, where we'll see much more in the end of September when it comes to Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment gameplay-wise? Are you ready for this, or do you think we're gonna see something else? That is the big question here. Like, I am truly blown away by the fact that we're getting this game so early. People were saying, oh, it's coming out in 2026. No, it's coming out before Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. That is something I was definitely not expecting. And yeah, I'm just looking forward to the extensive marketing that will be happening. I expect far more from Koei Tecmo, starting from the end really of this month throughout October, all the way to the launch on November 6th. And of course, the timing is brilliant. It is before the big holiday rush. It is before a lot of other things, and we'll be able to provide some very special videos that we probably wouldn't have been able to provide if it was a 2026 release, especially since ad revenue would have been terrible if it was a January release. But none of these games are that. We even Metroid Prime 4 Beyond is coming out 2025, so a big win, a really big win, this one, for absolutely all of us. Anyway, I want to see your opinion on this new trailer and gameplay overview of Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment in the comment section down below. And if you haven't already, then be sure to leave a like, subscribe and press the notification bell, and for all notifications. Last but not least, a big thanks to you for watching until the very end of this video, and to all our patreon.com/CommonRealm patrons. Special shoutouts go to Raw Producer, JC Funk, and Heroes, Cheryl, Garrett Hoy, Holly Wolf, and Kintaro. You all rock, and please enjoy one or both of these two awesome videos.